All right, so I think we shall get started. So,
Okay.
hey everyone, I am Anubhav Garg, a management trainee at Law Seco, and I welcome you all in our today's session, uh, Rights of Home Buyers Post Lockdown. As a subject matter expert, we have Chetan Priyadarshi sir with us. Chetan sir is a partner at Mimamsa Law, and he has more than 6 years of experience in the fraternity. If I talk about his areas of expertise, it is the real estate laws, IBC laws, taxation, and mo- taxation and majority of the corporate laws. So thank you so much, Chetan sir, for joining us here today. It's an absolute pleasure and privilege for me and for all the attendees to learn from you.
Thanks, Anu. Pleasure being here.
All right, sir. Sir, though it is our second webinar with you, but just to get, why don't you give us a brief introduction of your own,
Okay.
like telling your journey as a lawyer?
Okay. So we've done this before as well, but for the sake of this webinar, we'll do it again. So I passed out of ILS Law College, Pune, and after that I shifted to Delhi. I had practiced with a few senior counsels before going independent on my own. I started off with winding up laws and the company laws in the company court in the Delhi High Court, and then we shifted to the insolvency code. And with insolvency code came a lot of home buyers who wanted to file their case under the NCLT. Now, a lot of adventures happened under insolvency code. So we gathered experience in going to RERA as well, going to NCDRC as well. And so overall, we have gone to all forums in which a home buyer can go or should go.
All right, all right. So sir, uh, let us start with the very basic question. Can you tell us about the best forums for home buyers and what are the pros and cons of each forum? Like this session is about the rights of home buyers. So, what forums they can resort to if they are right, if their rights are infringed?
There are multiple forums that home buyers can go to, but I'll focus on three of them right now, which they choose to go on a regular basis. That's the NCDRC or the Consumer Forum. The second is your NCLT under Insolvency Code, and the third is RERA under the Real Estate Regulation Authority. So these are three forums that home buyers really are interested in going to because of the speedy of disposal of cases and also the benefit that they get from the orders that they receive from these courts. So we'll start off with Consumer Forum. Consumer Forum, obviously, from the name itself, it's very clear that consumer forums are for consumers, and home buyers, being consumers, have been going to consumer forums since the coming of this act. Overall, the experience consumer forum used to be good, but the number of filings increased, which led to actually a lot of cases there and delay in the part of the forum to adjudicate on these matters. So they started delaying on the final orders, and general date between two hearings would be around 6 to 9 months in the NCDRC. While the state commission consumer forums are 4 to 5 months, it takes at least 2 to 3 years bare minimum for a case to be finally adjudicated. And then you have the long process of execution, which also takes another 2 or 3 years once you have an order from the consumer forum. Then again, not all consumers can go, all home buyers can go to consumer forum. You need to prove that this unit was for myself and I wanted to use it for my own good instead of renting it out. You can't be an investor and go to the consumer forum. And your builders really harp on that matter that you are not a consumer and you are an institutional investor. So you have to pack your defense in such a way that you prove that you are a consumer instead of an investor. So there's that. Obviously, the best interest as in compensation which you get is from NCDRC. Other forums are not that great with the interest percentage. They can go as high as 18%, and the bare minimum is around 10%. Now, coming to insolvency code, started off in 2016. It's been a rocky ride since 2016 to 2020. They had a bunch of amendments. First, the courts dismissed home buyer matters, saying these are not home buyers, these are not financial creditors. Then it went to appeal. In appeal, it was decided these are investors. So that took a good 6 months out of 2017. Then came your then the code was amended to bring home buyers into the fora of financial creditors, but that was challenged by builders. So that's another 6 to 8 months in 2018, which was gone in such hearings. Then came 2019, things were going good. A lot of matters were being filed, a lot of matters were being settled. It became the primary area primary place for home buyers to go. Then came the amendment again, which said that 10% of 100 home buyers can go at once and not below that. That is again under challenge, and because of the lockdown, we're looking at another 9 months before it's decided. You also have now you have a threshold of 1 crore, which will be applicable on new matters, luckily, and not the old matters. So that will also be a challenge because now you have to bring 10%, which will be around 100 odd buyers together to file a single case, and you'll have a threshold limit. Now, as per our understanding, if there are 5 people and their investment together crosses 1 crore, then you have a good case in NCLT. So that way, I think we are safeguarded for now, but we don't know the adventure will go from here. And thirdly is real estate regulatory authority. They have their own tribunal. All states have their own tribunals. These are really good tribunals. You have online filing. You have all the provisions that a new court should have. There's not much time wasted in evidence stage. You file the complaint. There's a reply. You can file the rejoinder, and that's about it. They adjudicate the matter. It takes around 3 to 6 months for the final adjudication. The issue there is the recovery certificate part. Now, once a court has the order, passes an order, you have to wait around 45 days for a recovery certificate. Now, it's easy to execute recovery certificates for a few good builders, but if the builder is a runaway fraud, then it's very hard to get a recovery certificate executed. So these are the issues in the all three forums, and these are the choice of forums. So every place has its own pros and cons, and I think it's up to the lawyer to tell them as per the case which is a good case to go to.
Understood. So there are three forums, if I
Yes.
have understood the answer right:
Yes.
NCDRC, Consumer Forum, and RERA.
No, NCDRC is Consumer Forum. Then you have your NCLT for Insolvency Code and RERA.
Okay, all right. And the advantage with RERA is that you don't have to. The procedural efficiency is much higher than other two forums, and you don't have to waste too much of your time in annexing evidence and give availing proof to the courts, right, sir?
Yes,
And
obviously that's how you go about it. But then again, the recovery certificate part is a challenge in itself. So in some cases you get the money immediately. In other cases you don't. It takes time.
understood. All right. Uh, so, sir, though you have told us about the jurisdiction of all the three forums, but we will discuss it in a bit more detail in the later part of the sessions. Now, let us understand what can home buyers do differently now. What lockdown has brought changes? Like,
See, insolvency code has been diluted to a huge extent. So, and currently, except for RERA doing online hearing, other two forums are closed for them. So, I would suggest that at this point of time, if you have an urgent need of money, then you should choose RERA. If you want to fight it out, go for better interest rates, better compensation, then you go to either NCLT or Consumer Forum if you can wait it out. So then again, RERA also it'll take some time more than the usual time it used to take, and RERA is coming up with a few amendments to safeguard builders instead of buyers. So that might be an issue in the future as well. Although what they have done is that this default period of lockdown, whether or not they'll consider it as a default for grant of relief, is something that is awaited right now, and we do not really know for sure how they are going to react to it. Currently, the old cases they are hearing out and doing everything that needs to be done, but the new cases there might be a bit of a shocker value. So what we are suggesting clients is right now that you either team up, make a pack of wolves, and then you go to 2 3 forums at the same time. You see if the builder has defrauded you or is delayed possession on the basis of wrongful advertisements and marketing, then you have a criminal case made out. You should file a criminal case as well. And along with that, you can go to either RERA or NCLT. I would suggest if you complete the 10% or 100 home buyers case. So in that case, you go do two things at the same time. Don't worry about the money part because whatever the lawyer charges is generally 1 or 2% of your investment, so it doesn't really matter. But I think you should go for 2 to 3 forums at the same time and then try to corner the real estate builder.
all right. So, sir, though you have also discussed a bit about the suspension of IBC, but can you also elaborate a bit more on how the how this suspension of the code will affect the rights of home buyers and in what manner?
So suspension of the code, the thing is the suspension is for a brief period of 6 months, starting from 25th of March. Now, let's say I'm a home buyer and I had a property which was ready for possession on the in April 2020, and I knew that the property was not gonna be ready by April 2020, and I was really looking forward to filing a case and getting my money out from this investment. But in this case, what has happened is that NCLT doors are permanently closed, is what the interpretation is for now. Has said that this default between this lockdown period will never become a default under insolvency code. So you can never file a case for someone who had the date of possession was between March to June. So NCLT has perpetually closed doors for people who had just about to have that default in the month of March to June. So NCLT is pretty much closed for them. For the old cases, yes, currently Supreme Court, there's a challenge against the amendment of that 10% and 100 home buyers before the Supreme Court. It will take around 6 to 8 months. So the future of the old cases which are already filed is still pending. Although we hope that Supreme Court, in all its knowledge, may call it ultra vires and dismiss the new amendments. So we are hoping for that. We have filed our own case there, and we are hoping for the best in that.
All right, sir. All right. So, sir, how I'm sorry, how to get the money recovered after an NC, DRC, or a RERA order? Like this question pertains to more how home buyers can execute the order they have achieved from that particular judicial forum.
Okay, so in the case of NCDRC or any consumer forum for that matter, once you get an order from court, the builder will not pay you directly just because there's an order from court. He'll either go for appeal or you can go for an execution. Execution of order is filed in the same court where the order was passed, and then you either wait for attachment of his property or attachment of his bank accounts by the court. So that is one way it's done. But we have had cases in which the builder is completely bankrupt, all his assets are gone, all his property is gone. So this execution matter has been going on for no reason for quite some time, and we don't know where to go from there. Now, when you get an order from any court, you become a decree holder.
Yeah.
So once you are a decree holder, you can go to insolvency code as a separate class of financial creditors of decree holder. So although that has not been decided till now, and there are different judgments from Supreme Court on and NCLAT regarding the status of a decree holder as a financial creditor, but that is something under challenge and pending before the NCLT in one of our cases as well. And although we don't have an answer right now as to the interpretation which the court will take, but I think in due course of time we'll know.
All right. And what about RERA?
RERA, when you get an order, same thing. You can either go to NCLT with that decree of yours, or you get the recovery certificate and you go. There's a district magistrate's office where either the district magistrate himself or he appoints an officer as a recovery officer. So you approach him, and he'll take care of attaching the properties, attaching the bank accounts. He has the power for that.
All right, understood. So, sir, now now let us have that more clarity I've previously mentioned on NCLT and RERA and NCDRC. The jurisdiction, as I see it, is very overlapping, and I really don't know what is the difference between the relief one gets from all these three forms. So, if you can
So
enlighten us a bit on
basically,
it.
the relief that you get from see, the thing is, I would suggest that your NCDRC and RERA are money suits. Money suits is when you ask for a specific prayer of refund of the money. Although you can ask for possession with compensation, but I've seen in majority of the cases people really go for refund of money with interest now. And NCLT is a separate jurisdiction altogether. In that jurisdiction, if you succeed in that case, then the company goes into insolvency. The company goes out of the hands of the directors of the company. So in majority of the real estate cases, the builder generally settles with the home buyer, and only in a few cases where there have been a huge amount of fraudulent transactions and the builder has no control and no money to settle the buyer, in those cases is when they dismiss, when the company goes into insolvency, and then the IRP takes over the company. And that's still a better way of doing things than waiting for an execution order, because then you have the control of the company for a good 330 days as a home buyer. All the home buyers file their claims, they become creditors of the company, and then they can take a call on what is the future of the company, how to go about it. A new builder can take over, or either they can take over and complete the project themselves. So a lot of things can happen.
Okay. So, sir,
And
Amit has asked this question, very specific one. How to go for execution of RC, which is issued by RERA?
as I already addressed to Mr. Amit Bhalla, that to the RC, you have to go to the district magistrate's office if you have the recovery, and you will have a recovery, and then you go and get in touch with him. He'll do the attachment on your behalf.
All right, I think that would suffice. And
Is there a
another
problem
question.
with? No, no, it's okay. Continue.
Another question is from Expedia Tablet Z. Can a home buyer approach RERA and Consumer Forum at the same time, or RERA first?
No. So RERA is very specific about this. They don't want you to, if you have already a case filed under Consumer Forum, then they won't accept your complaint under RERA. So although Consumer Forum does not really have this problem, this might become a problem when it during the time of argument. But as of now, RERA is very specific. Even the online filing has a clause where you have to give an affidavit that I have not filed any other complaint other than this complaint. Now, as for NCLT cases are the best that way because that is an overlapping law over everything. You can have n number of cases below and you can still go to NCLT because that's an insolvency jurisdiction. No other law is over this law.
All right. All right. All right. So, sir, coming to the next question, you mentioned that if the builder has just taken the money and flee away, then it's also a criminal case made up, and then you can really expedite the process of getting relief. So
See,
when can
it's not really expedition of relief, but more like you can go to criminal forum as well, and they'll do their own investigation. Criminal cases they take their own time. But you may please complete your question, please.
uh, so my question was, when can home buyers do a criminal complaint, and how much time usually it takes? Like one case you have already told, when builder has taken your money and just flee away, it's a total fraud. And what are the other cases?
See, in all cases where the builder has delayed possession and he had malified advertising and marketing, he did not have the necessary permissions. Then, even for the sake of just not receiving possession on time, you can go to a criminal court and get a case registered against them. Economic Offences Wing of Delhi Police has been really active when it comes to builder cases, and they do a thorough investigation. But this is something that takes time. It's not something. It does not really have a defined time frame within which it will happen. The charge sheet could be filed in 90 days, 120 days, or not filed at all. Then you have to go to court. So criminal really branches out into different ways on how the investigating authority is dealing with your complaint. If it does not register the complaint, then you go under section 156(3), get a registration of FIR prayer before a court, and then the police becomes answerable to the court, and they have to show why your FIR was not registered. In the other cases, if the FIR is registered, charge sheet will happen. They'll take some time to investigate, attach properties. A lot of things happen throughout. They'll attach cars, they'll attach properties. They'll see if the money has gone. They'll have an auditor who will see if the money has gone to the investment in the project itself, or they have siphoned out the money. All this happens, and if the auditor will take a few months, the police will take a few months. Charge sheet upon charge sheet will be filed. Accused will be absconding. The court can't go without the accused being present. They have to be arrested. A lot of things happen, so you can't really have a time frame in mind.
So giving a fixed timeline is not possible, but let us assume it's somewhere around 9 months.
No. We're talking in years right now. When it comes to police complaint, we're talking about 4 or 5 years. Now, if it's a really good builder and you have still gone ahead and filed a complaint, the good ones are really afraid of FIRs, so they generally settle. The bad ones, not so much.
Right. So, sir, how much help are civil suits or arbitration and mediation camp for home buyers actually are? Is ADR an effective dispute resolution mechanism for home buyers, or it's just the same story here also?
See, the problem with, I'll start off with civil suits. Civil suits have a lot of evidence, a long, prolonged evidence stage, which takes a lot of time. Civil suit is something that you can go to, but most builder agreements have an arbitration clause. So first you need to be satisfied that you can go to a civil court. Once you go to a civil court, you have to, the evidence stage will take a lot of time. And after that, when the order is passed, you're looking at 3 to 4 years. Once the order is passed, then what happens is then you have the same rule of getting an order, filing execution petition, getting property attached. Now that can take another 2 to 3 years or more. There's no guarantee of that. So obviously that takes a lot of time. With regards to arbitration, the only reason we don't suggest arbitration is because initially it used to be unilateral arbitration and the builder used to appoint a arbitrator. And in all sincerity, these guys are not sincere, the arbitrators. So now that the rule has changed and both the parties can together appoint an arbitrator, thanks to a few judgments, so that has been saved completely. The second portion is the arbitration fees. Now the arbitration fees is very high as compared to any other forum. Now the max that you pay for a consumer forum is 5,000 as court fees. For your Supreme for NCLT it's 25,000, but it can be divided between all investors if they're coming and filing in one single case. For your RERA it's only 1,000 rupees. Now for a case like your arbitration case would be around 1 or 2%. Same goes for civil suit. They have a certain amount of court fees that needs to be paid, and if the bigger the property, the higher the court fees. So that becomes a problem as well.
So what is this arbitration fees usually?
Arbitration fees is around 1 or 2%. Now they have come up with the schedule, so it can go up to 1 or 2% of the total price of the property or the amount that you're claiming.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. And what about the other dispute resolution mechanisms, mediation and
mediation is something that we want to experiment on, but we do not have the. I think we are still on the research phase where we would like to have a mediation center where builders can come from one end and buyers can come from the other end, and we have appointed mediators who sit and try to settle it. Now this will be cost saving for both the parties. Because there's no appointment of lawyers, there's no appointment of no court fees, no going to courts, and if you can work out a deal in which you can give a property on behalf of another property, a property which is ready and the investor is more ready to take, then mediation really works out. So, but that is still in its very nascent stage, and we don't know how it will work out in the future because I don't think anybody has done it in a big way right now till now.
Understood. So sir, again Xperia Tablet Z has asked a question, but usually every agreement has a clause of arbitration. Can the case stand in consumer forum or RERA if the arbitration is bypassed?
So basically the answer is in the question itself. Arbitration is not applicable for home buyers. It's a unilateral agreement. Consumer forums has a bunch of judgments which say that arbitration won't apply and we'll continue with this case under consumer forum. For RERA, I don't think RERA is a specific tribunal for home buyers. Even if the builder tries to initiate an arbitration case and ask you to follow up on the arbitration, you don't need to go if you have a RERA case filed. So yes, the case in consumer forum as well as the RERA stand even if there is an arbitration clause, and it can be easily bypassed.
And how is it how does that arbitration clause get bypassed?
See, there are judgments of a consumer forum, as I told you earlier, that say that even if the builder tries to initiate arbitration, you have the right to go to a consumer forum nonetheless. So you can choose not to appear before the arbitration forum at all.
All right. Okay. Yeah. I also saw that question, but let us just skip that. So sir, now two things are pretty clear to me, that even after getting an order, it would easily take 2 or 3 years for home buyers to actually get the reliefs what they were looking for.
I think this is case to case basis. It's not really.
But the lower threshold would be 2 years, right?
Let's say if you're lucky enough, you have a 3 to 4 months, you get an order from RERA and you go to the recovery officer within 45 days. We're looking at 1 year in recovery. NCLT, we used to get settlement offers every day, literally, because every time we used to file a case, builders generally prefer settlement instead of going for an insolvency argument. Final arguments used to happen very late. Very few final arguments actually happened. And even after final arguments, if the order is reserved, even then they chose to settle instead of fighting it out. So it totally depends on case to case and which builder where the investment is, because some of them are really good and they want a clean sheet for themselves, and so they settle immediately. and some of them just want to delay it as much as they can.
Okay, so let me rephrase it. In the cases where the actual relief is delivered to home buyers after 2 or 3 years,
Hmm.
how can lawyers be of help there? Like how, what can lawyers do on their part to expedite this process and cut
See,
on the
there are proactive ways of doing it. See, the thing is, all you have to do is ensure that the builder is not trying to delay the matter. They love doing that. They'll take date upon date, date upon date. Your job as a lawyer is to first be there in court when he's trying to delay it. Point it out that he has been trying to severely delay it, but it completely depends on the forum as well and the judge as well before who you are, who will see that okay, these are dilatory tactics, and then he'll either pass relevant orders or he'll put up a cost, or he simply not allow it. So it depends on a lot of factors, not just as lawyers, because what the lawyer can do is be proactive. Whichever forum you have advised upon, stick to that forum and continue advising and be proactive in your litigation when it comes to court.
all right. So one thing lawyers can do is be proactive and not let the builders delay the matter.
Yes.
And what else?
If you're sticking to a forum, then you stick to it.
Okay.
Don't go around saying, okay, consumer forum ho gaya, now let's go to RERA, try the RERA forum. Then you go to NCLT, we have an order. If you go advise only when you actually believe that this forum will work out.
All right. Another is not changing your mind again and again, sticking to the forum you have decided.
See,
All right.
at times you can't help it. Let's say when the our matters were stuck in consumer forum and an insolvency court came along, and we said, okay, this is a better forum. Instead, if you get the matter listed in January, the insolvency court came in December of 2016, in January the matter is listed, and the client's there with you in court, and then the matter gets the next date on November 2019, November of that year. And like before this, if I file a case in NCLT, I'll get an order, and this matter won't even this hearing won't even matter. So in cases like that, it makes sense. But in other cases where you simply jumping from one forum to the other, then don't do it. Take a conscious call on which forum is the better forum. Now RERA came along, so a lot of people jumped ship from NCDRC and went to RERA because it was a better forum. So you have to think about what you want in as a home buyer also. If you want 18% interest or 8% interest, that is also something. And can you stick to waiting and getting better interest rates, or you have to, you get you need the money fast, so you go to those courts. Simple as that.
All right. So Sushil sir has asked a question. If there is no bar on using multiple forums, why not use all of them and pressurize the builder in giving? Matlab, how? Why can't home buyers simply strong arm the builders?
As I told him, as I told earlier as well, you can do that. There's no bar on it. You should, if there's a huge fraud which is happening, then you go to a criminal court, you go to NCLT, and be open to trying a bit of adventure, because one day the builder will get tired and try to settle with you. They also love litigation. They have a lot of panel lawyers, so it doesn't really matter to them. And the more, see, it's simple as that. If I have invested 1 crore with a builder, and this guy is asking me for a return, if I delay it for 36 odd months, then I get a good chunk of interest return from that investment itself before refunding that money. By that end, the home buyer itself will be tired of litigating. He'll be simply happy with a lower interest rate or no interest at all. He'll like take the principal and go. This has also happened. So if you really want to fight it out, you go to multiple forums.
All right. All right. So, sir, this brings me to a very apparent question. We have seen that usually it is before the any dispute comes place kicks in. If the home buyers try to save money on lawyers fees or legal consultation, but according to you, what are the places where lawyers are indispensable, and how can legal due diligence help the home buyers?
Let's look at it from the investment point of view. Lawyers can help before investment as well. If 90% of my clients would have approached me before, them investing the money, small fees for due diligence would have saved them lakhs of money, lakhs of rupees. Because the builder will say he has the necessary permissions, he has everything, you don't need to worry. But in reality, that's not the case always. So a little bit due diligence would have deferred such a investment. And secondly, for home buyers, what I've seen is they're more than happy to pay lakhs to a builder, but not that happy to pay good fees to a lawyer. So that is also an issue with home buyers, but that's not the case with everyone. A few of them, of course, but then again, lawyers can start off from the very first phase of due diligence and making a due diligence report on the property that the builder wants to invest on, and then, of course, throughout the phase, how the construction is happening. Has he applied for the occupancy certificate? Has he applied for the necessary permissions, sanctions, approvals, all of that? And then, if let's say a lot of builders issue offer of possession quite early without getting any of the documents you need before offering a possession, and some of the buyers are gullible enough to actually accept it. So because they don't know better, it's the best case scenario for them that they're getting the position on time, and then they take position, and then the property is not even closed. It's not fit for occupation. So that is a problem which a lot of buyers have faced in the past, and I think they will continue to face if they don't approach or take into consideration that a lawyer's advice should be from the beginning and not at the end when the money is stuck.
Precisely. So, sir, though I have got most of the answer, but just to make the learnings more articulate, can you tell us how can legal due diligence help in lawyers in pointers? You have answered it, but can you
Okay.
please brief it in pointers?
So every time a builder plans on making a project, he needs a certain amount of permission, sanctioned maps, and everything from different authorities.
Yeah.
So a lot of builders claim they have that, but they don't, or they're constructing something which is not as per the sanction plans. So in those cases, you need a lawyer who's good with due diligence of land matters, and then you can take it advice to see if everything is as per order of what the builder is claiming, and then accordingly advise. In between, when you have already advised and that it's a good property for investment, and then the builder is ready for possession, it doesn't. The home buyer feels that the property is not right for possession, but so he can check with the lawyer again to get the necessary documents out, whether it's be it the occupancy certificate, your possession certificate, your completion certificate, and there are 7 or 8 different approvals you need from the fire authority, airport authority if it's a high rise, water, electricity, all of that. So a good lawyer will be able to get all these documents for you through RTI or otherwise, and then advise you whether to accept possession or actually go ahead and file a case.
So one is uh, hiring a lawyer to get all the necessary documents out of the builder, like the occupancy certificate and the permissions
These
from.
documents generally the builders don't provide. These are generally provided by the authority.
Hmm.
So you can ask the authority for it.
Oh, all right. So one is this. Another.
Another is after he offers possession of the property, claiming it's complete, you can verify that whether the property is actually fit for possession or not by looking at the new approvals which he might have received from the authorities.
All right. Understood. All right. So this brings me to my next question. How can home? We know that. Sorry. You previously mentioned that there needs to be a certain number of home buyers in order to file a class action lawsuit against the builder, right? It was somewhere around 100, 101. So how can home buyers use social media effectively to collect themselves, uh, to gather themselves for a class action lawsuit
See,
against the building authority?
I'll tell you 2 different forums where class action suit works out. First is NCDRC, which you can file a case under section 12(1)(c), saying there's a class action suit and you need 100. You don't need 100. You just need to claim that it's over 1 crore, and whoever is invested in the property can come and join the case. In that case, the court orders you to publish a notice in the newspapers. So after that publication, a lot of people follow up and they file their impleadment cases. Now this is you as an individual can also file that case before the court. But when it comes to NCLT, where the 100 people threshold or 10% has come, we have a bunch of cases in which 100 home buyers or 10% was met. Now in those cases, people used Facebook pages, they used Instagram, they used your WhatsApp, they used Telegram to connect to more people. A lot of people. Let's say there's 1,000 people in a project. Now the property has not been received by 1,000 people. These 1,000 people are googling their way to find out what's wrong with the project. They'll find out that okay, there's a WhatsApp group where similar home buyers are there. So those guys can obviously, then they join hands and they come to us saying that we are 100% or 10, we are 100 people or 10% of the project, and then together we can, file this case. And that's so social media really allows people to team up, become a pack of wolves instead of sheep, and then go against the builder.
Okay, all right. So, sir, Varun has asked a question. Can a single buyer, is there any way for a single buyer to claim compensation against the builder?
Yes, of course. You can either go to RERA or you can go to Consumer Forum. NCLT, the doors are closed for now, but these two forums are there which you can go to.
All right, all right. And the procedural requirements are,
You
if you
just
can
need
brief
your, see, it's a simple complaint. Upon the total value of your property, you can either decide which forum, either district forum, state commission, or the national commission. So you can decide on that and accordingly file your complaint. Or for RERA, there's no jurisdiction. You can go to the RERA authority with your complaint.
all right. So, do this complaint has a specified format or uh,
They have their own formats, of course. For like UP RERA has an online form that you need to fill up. Your Haryana RERA has a proper petition that you need to make.
all right.
For NCDRC, there's a proper petition that you need to make. So there are different formats.
Is available on the website of these forums
No,
or
only for UP RERA can a home buyer file his own case. But for other forums, I think you need a lawyer because you don't know what pleadings to have. Even for RERA, for that matter, UP RERA, you can file the complaint, but I'd suggest taking up a lawyer because we have had clients who had come to us after filing the complaint because they were not able to handle it. So it's always better to get a lawyer because he is obviously working for you. He'll do a better job.
the Ananda Raj has asked a question pertaining to the due diligence lawyers can perform to help their clients to protect their client from any fraudulent activity from the builder. So the question is, all the financial properties are anyways due diligence by the bank. So why is there
You
a need of lawyer in the first place?
do not trust banks. Simple as that. I'll tell you about a fraud which happens and it's so massive and it's not reported. There's the process called profile funding. So profile funding is what happens. Let's say I have a good CIBIL score and I have a good profile for banks to give me loans. So what they do is now banks partner up with builders to give loans to buyers who are investing in that project. So in this case, what happens is that there are people with good profile, which brokers will get to these banks, and they'll allow for these banks to issue loans or of crores in rupees, and that the money goes directly to the builder. And the buyer, what he does is he gets around 5-8% of that total money, and all the EMIs are paid by the builder. Now, the reason why builder does it is simple. Interest rate on a home buyer loan is 8% or less than that. Interest for a loan taken by a real estate builder is more than 15%. So he prefers this illegal route to get loans and raise money from the market. Now, if banks were really good with their due diligence, they would not have issued such loans. And we have 20, 30 or more clients who have gone through the same phase. Initially, the EMIs was being paid by builder. Now the builder has defaulted, and now the CIBIL score is gone. There are cases in DRT. There are check bounce cases by banks because banks don't bother. And the same units are 6-7 investment by different buyers in the same unit and for the same bank branch. So do not trust the bank branch to do really good due diligence work when it comes to giving loans to builders.
All right, all right, sir. Uh,
I think let's start off with a few questions because there are a lot of them which has happened.
these the questions I just put up to you are from the chat box only.
Okay.
Uh,
No, I
so
think yeah. Let's finish up the chat, then we'll look into the questions.
yeah, sure. I have anyways. I have only one question left with me.
Okay.
So this Sushil sir has again asked a question, which is very
Housing finance,
similar.
yes.
Yeah.
Same rule, do your own due diligence, don't rely on banks, and especially housing finance. You've heard a lot. Just Google housing finance right now. There's a bunch of scams, so don't trust housing finance. Do your own due diligence, then you decide and invest in the property.
Okay. So sir, does that answer your question? Let me ask a follow-up question. So Chetan sir, how can a home buyer do in his own due diligence? Like if you can tell us some particular websites and
Actually, due diligence is a long process. It's not as simple. I don't see many people being able to do it. First thing is that you file a bunch of RTIs to get permission from court, from authorities where the certificates are issued to the builder, or you ask for looking into those documents. You are allowed to look into those documents if you go to these authorities. You need to get a pass, you need to get an appointment, all of that thing happens. And once you see all these documents, only then can you come up with a due diligence report. Now, due diligence report covers a lot of things. Your, the location, the neighboring area, the permissions in the neighboring area, the permissions for that area. A lot of projects came up, malls came up in IT space. So that is also something which is not allowed as per law. If there's an IT space demarcated by the authority and you set up a mall there, that's definitely not allowed. So even that needs to be seen whether the right area has been chosen for this investment, or whether they're doing the right kind of construction as per the permissions they have. So I would suggest that if you are actually, see, nothing comes below 20-30 lakhs right now, right?
Precisely.
So I would suggest that for 20-30 lakhs, if a lawyer is charging a minimal fees which will be 1% or 2% of your investment, you better go for that
Exactly.
instead of that. And you work out with the builder that I'll pay half, you pay half. That also could be worked out.
All right. So, sir, Sushil sir has again a follow-up question. According to you, what is the most effective forum according to you in your experience
See,
in terms of the
most
expedition?
effective forum for me has always been NCLT. I cannot deny that. Now it is basically, now we are teaming up a lot of investors. Let's say we filed 6 cases against the same builder by separate investors. Now we are joining all of them, making it into a bigger group. So that is happening, and we're working on that. And so there's always that. The second portion will be RERA, I think, the second best. And third is, if you have the money to fight a builder out and you don't need the money right now, go to consumer forum, because the best interest rates are in consumer forum.
All right, all right. So in terms of expedition, NCLT is best, but in terms of interest rate you will get on the refund money
Is
is consumer
NCDRC.
forum. And what was the advantage of RERA?
RERA was, I think RERA and NCLT used to take the same time. But now if you have a team, you go to NCLT. If you don't have a team, then you go to RERA. And have some patience, because recovery certificate takes time.
All right, all right. So Ashish Agarwal's question: what to do in case a person is stuck in profile funding case? So what is a profile funding case, sir?
So basically, if you are stuck in a profile funding case, you can get an injunction from court for not paying the EMI. That is there from the civil code, of course. Then you can either go to RERA or NCLT, saying that the money I paid. See, if you are a profile funding case, there is no proof that you had that the builder has paid the earnest money, which is the initial 10%. You can go and claim that as well in court, because that is the money which you rightly deserve. So I think you can either go to that forum. You need to go 2-3 cases at the same time. For a profile funding case, you need to go to the criminal forum, the RERA or NCLT, whichever works out. And thirdly, you go get an injunction from court saying that I can't pay the bank EMIs anymore.
All right, sir. So, sir, you have highlighted that the process is that first of all, the jurisdiction is very overlapping. It is almost impossible for a home buyer to progress it in without a lawyer. And secondly, the the process of relief is also very cumbersome. So, where do you think the judicial forums like RERA and NCDRC can improve their functioning for smooth and speedy disposal of the cases?
See, with regards to NCDRC, what had happened was they were initially pretty good. Like
Okay.
dates were given for 3-4 months at max, and they were really against builders and pro home buyers. But because of the number of filing, they now have to give dates of 9 months, 10 months, 1 year. So what they can do is get rid of at least the 2-3 things. Firstly, get more judges if you can't handle it. That is something the government has to decide. Second thing is get rid of the whole evidence stage, because RERA does not follow it, NCLT does not follow it. I don't think they need to follow it as well. Okay, just have a complaint, a reply, and list it for final arguments. That is something that they can do. Secondly, have a timeline. Decide on that within a year we have to decide this matter. Can't give dates upon dates. There was a Supreme Court petition also which was filed, which ordered NCDRC to decide on a manner in which they can run the business smoothly and in a better manner. But I don't think those directions have really worked out for NCDRC or for state commissions, because NCDRC governs all the state forums. So there's that as well.
All right, all right. So with this question, I am done with all the things I have with me, and now let us invite more questions from attendees. So people, now I have enabled the option. You guys can unmute yourself and ask your questions directly from Chetan Priyadarshi sir.
Let's do one thing before that. Let's answer, because I think saw a few good questions on this line itself
May I?
on the group chat.
Okay. I
Let
think
me
I
just.
have taken all of them, but okay, if I might have
I
missed
think
on
if there's no
something.
bar on using, why not use it to pressure? Mr. Sushil had asked if there's no bar on using multiple weight. I think we have
Yeah,
covered that.
you have already answered.
You can thus exclude your stake as a home buyer and your right to get the flat delivered. Pretty much, if you want a refund, then you should go to insolvency court because you are asking for your complete amount. You can't really ask for possession before the NCLT. So insolvency court does not really give you a home buyer right to ask for possession. It might do when the company actually goes into insolvency, but if you're going to the court, ask for refund complete. Now, for me, which forum gives the best result? As I have already answered, RERA or C forum also allows the case to be pleaded by other professionals in construction.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah,
Yes,
Amit
sir.
sir.
Sir, I am from Lucknow. In
Yes.
my case, sir, RERA has issued RC in January. So,
Okay.
what the remedy available now?
The district magistrate's
I have
office.
not yet received the money, sir.
So the district magistrate's office will have a recovery officer. You should visit the district magistrate's office and ask for execution of your recovery certificate.
Amit sir.
Sir, actually, that is not happening. So, whether I can go to the High Court for
You can
mandamus
go.
writ
You
to
can. Yes. Yes.
get
Yes.
that recovery certificate executed?
Yes. You can actually go to writ court under this, and you can pray for the court for writ of mandamus. You already know the answer then.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay. But Expedia tablet, I did not really get the question. So other professionals are allowed, but I think lawyers are best for RERA that way. Can you mute them all? Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Hi, good afternoon, sir. It was nice listening to you.
Thank you.
Actually, my father had booked the flat with NBCC in Delhi. Now, NBCC is central government owned basically.
Yes, yes, yes.
And what has happened was that we had a transaction to cancel it, and there were things were going on. There were like communications going on,
Hmm.
and suddenly one fine day, they said that the matter has been delayed because my brother got expired, and
Okay.
out of 9 lakh rupees, they refunded only 1 lakh in my father's account, and they said that your flat has been terminated. Now, I requested all senior people in NBCC. Nothing happened. I even wrote to that PM grievance cell. Even they didn't do anything.
Okay.
Now, the matter is pending since July 2017. Any
Okay.
relief I can get, sir?
See, I'll have to actually see your papers once to actually understand whether we can. I think even if it's a government property and you have invested in that, you can obviously go to consumer forum. I don't think it's a RERA registered property. Otherwise, RERA also it can go to. Otherwise, there's a
It is in
since
UP.
UP RERA it's registered.
I guess it must be registered because it is
See,
in UP.
yes, Namit, I'll have to see your papers once to understand the,
Yeah.
the agreement which you have had with NBCC. You have literally all the forums open to you, which other home buyers do. So, and I've never really seen PM grievance cell working for any of my clients. So I don't think that's a very futile, good place to go to. But other forums might work out for you, but that can be done only after your papers are seen.
So how can I approach you, sir?
I'll put up my email ID here. You can send me the email here.
Okay, thank you, sir.
So before we take more questions, I request people to please not ask here the personal consultation queries from Chetan sir, because that really hinders the flow of session, and it is more of a
No,
learning session.
in this case, it's not just about learning because I'm assuming a lot of home buyers are here as well, and they want questions to their answers. So I have put in my yes, I put in my email ID. You can approach me through that.
Yeah, that can be done, but
Yes,
okay, let's just continue with the question, sir.
yes, please.
Sir, Ashish Agarwal has asked the question: what if we get in trouble? Profile funding case, in the context of profile funding case, what if we get in trouble because we were actually who took 5% money from builders and we allowed the builder to take loan on our profile?
So in this case, what you do is you don't see the thing is there's a very simple principle in law that you can't approach a court with unclean hands. You need to approach a court only with clean hands. So you need to tell the court that this has happened. You need to say, okay, this is a profile funding case. He told me that this will happen and he'll pay the EMI, still possession, and I have the right to recovery of this money. I took it, okay, and then the court will say, if you're disclosing it, I have not faced this problem. I don't think you will as well.
Any more questions, people? Any other question? Yeah. All right.
I think there was one question by Karanbir saying where does a commercial property acquirer goes if he does not get to position? If the thing is, even if you can go to consumer forum, if this is the only commercial property you have and you can prove that this property was to be used by me for my own personal use, so you are a consumer to that extent, you can go to RERA, NCLT, any other project for that matter, then any other code for that matter.
All right.
Uh,
When is dirt involved? When is DRT involved in property related
yeah,
matters?
Anubhav, I have another question. Can I?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Sir, there's a, I basically, my Jijaji basically bought a flat from Supertech in 2013.
Okay.
What happened was that later on it was in ORB in Noida basically, but that flat got cancelled. That building they didn't make. Now they
Okay.
are pressurizing him that you give us more money and we'll give you some other property. Now,
Which
what is that?
project was this?
Pardon?
Which project was this?
This was ORB, sir, Cape Town.
ORB, Cape Town. Okay. You don't have to give that money actually. If the project is cancelled, you can go for a refund.
Okay, but they are not refunding. What is the relief?
Supertech won't refund for that matter. Any builder won't refund if you simply ask them. You have to go to court and get an order against them.
Okay. Okay.
In that case, I think RERA will do a good job here because the project is cancelled. So I'm assuming it's not even registered with RERA. So I think this will work out for you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right. All right. So another question has been asked by Pooja Rambhya ma'am.
Ah.
When is DRT involved in property related matters?
So DRT is involved basically when you have taken a bank loan, you're defaulted on the bank loan. So this applies a lot on profile funding cases and where the loan has been defaulted either by the home buyer or the builder. So DRT, the banks generally approach, file a case against you and the bank and the builder in DRT.
Okay.
So DRT is limited to that extent, but DRT is a very dangerous forum because if you don't appear in time, they can attach your own personal properties. So that is the right which DRT has. So if anybody has received a notice from DRT, it's very important that they actually are proactive with that litigation and try to get the burden from their head to the builder's head.
All right. So sir, yeah, Ashish Agarwala has asked a question, has raised his hand. So Ashish sir, do you have a question?
Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, actually, I have bought a property in Noida,
Hmm.
and I took possession of an incomplete unit.
Okay.
So for that, the builder, gave me a credit note of 3 lakh rupees.
Okay.
So now I have completed the unit. I have rented it out. So how can I release this 3 lakh rupees credit note? Because the builder is in NCLT. He's into
Which builder is this?
Amrapali.
Okay, Amrapali, see the thing is now that the Amrapali is the best case scenario what has happened with insolvency.
We've got yet another Samsung A series phone with us today, the Galaxy.
Okay. So yes, so Amrapali currently, I think Supreme Court is really taking care of the Amrapali projects. All these projects will be completed. As for the 3 lakh rupees, did you file your claim at the time of insolvency?
No.
Okay, then you should have either filed your claim or now try to get in touch with whoever's heading the whole reconstruction and completion of projects for Amrapali. I think NBCC is taking care of that.
Yeah.
So I think, see, I don't see much light in your case, much hope in your case because the 3 lakh rupee credit note is not worth the piece of paper it is on. But you can at least try and get it adjusted towards your project, so you don't have to pay anything when the whole project is completed and you have to get your charge, registration done. So I think something could be worked
Okay.
out.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Welcome. Okay, there are two questions. The Pagdi system houses and rights to sell of those properties. Pooja, I'm sorry, I don't really do, this system. I do know about the Pagdi system where you pay a lot of money and then you have a monthly rental which is very limited. And you can obviously forward it to someone else. But in that case, I think there's a 10% which you need to pay to the original owner if you sell it. So in this case, basically, you don't go for a sale deed. You go for more, it's more like a tenancy. So let's say the property is worth 10 lakhs, you pay 8 lakhs rupees, and which is the Pagdi. The property will be yours for staying and using, and then you pay 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 rupees as rent every month. And if you sell it for, let's say, 10 lakhs, then you have to give 10% to the original owner, which is 1 lakh rupees. So that's the Pagri system as per my understanding. But that's a heavily illegal system. I don't think anybody should get into it.
So next question is from Shivam. Do you want me to read it out? Or?
I'll read it out on my own. Order for possession or delayed penalty given by UP applied for execution. In this case, see, the thing is, if October 2019 you have an order from UP RERA for delay penalty, you have to have a few documents in hand. You need to send the reply to the notices which are being sent by the builder. I'm assuming this is Ansel or Supertech. These are two builders who actually get into this. So in this case, ask for all the documents. Verify all the documents, because I'll tell you a simple thing. There's a concept of part completion which itself is illegal. Back in the day, the National Green Tribunal had passed an order saying no construction can happen around 10 kilometers radius around Okla Bird Sanctuary. So a lot of projects got stuck. Now that order was set aside, of course, but what the authorities did at that point of time, that if the tower was ready, they used to issue part completion certificate. So a lot of the builders started using this part completion certificate to offer possession when there was no possession to be made out. Now there are ample notices in RTS which I have, which clearly say that a person cannot accept property if the project does not have a completion certificate and occupation certificate. So do not accept the possession if you don't see the documents. If the documents are actually there for the whole project, not just for your tower, then you tell him what is the penalty which he is going to go give to you instead of him charging penalty. So share a few communications with him, ask him for the documents, and then I think you can take it forward.
All right. Anand Raj. How much?
Yes, Anand Raj is right. RERA has a backbone issue. It's not really the strongest of forums. Some of the builders are really strict with regards to paying off their recovery, the amount of recovery. Some you have to go get attached from the recovery officer under the DM. And in some cases, they just don't pay, they just don't bother. I know the recovery officer is not also able to attach anything. In those cases that I have already addressed, you can file a criminal complaint as well as a writ petition in the High Court, saying that I have a recovery certificate and it is not being executed. The court has to take action. So all the authorities, be it from RERA, be it the DM, be it the recovery officer, be it Noida authority, all of them have to answer to High Court, which is the stricter forum of all forums, as to why they are not able to get the money recovered and where did they fail in doing so. So High Court really works out when the RC, even though it's issued, is not really executable.
So that answered his question. He wrote, "Thank you."
Any more questions?
People, you guys can unmute yourself. If you have any question, you can come on live and ask her directly. All right. So thank you everyone who joined us. Ashish really liked the session. So yeah. No, Shivam has one question. Can the builder bully buyers to get the registry done without completing the project?
See, registry cannot be done without completing the project. Simple as that. There's no way of getting a registry done because the authority also looks at what all papers you have. So if the builder is offering, he's doing it wrongfully, and you should not be accepting the position or getting into a registry of the project or of your unit.
All right. So that answered our final question for the day. So I have this one little favor to ask you from guys. Can you please rate this session on a scale of 1 to 5, with 1 being the lowest and 5 being the highest?
There's one good question which I'd like to answer. Can due diligence be a good business model for junior advocates? Yes. Go ahead. If you Sushil's question. Can due diligence be a good business model for junior advocates? Yes, you should try to understand what due diligence entails, what all needs to be covered, and ensure you give a good advice, because if your advice is really wrong, they'll come after you. Although you're protected by law, but they'll still come after you, and it's not really a good thing to do.
Yeah. All right. Amit Sinha has written, in Maharashtra, registry is done before the completion of project. What is your take on it, sir?
I really don't know the laws of Maharashtra, but I think that's wrong as well. I think that could be checked. See, these are state laws. So I know for a fact that Gurgaon and UP does not allow it, but if Maharashtra is allowing it, there must be a reason or there must be a law backing it. So we can look into the law and then answer that in a better manner.
Oh, I am unmuted.
Yeah.
I am in US. Good evening. But I have no question. Actually, I just raised my hand. Thank you. It was nice.
All right. So
okay, Amit Sinha has a question to restrict transfer after allotment for 5 years. Amit Sinha, thank you. I think I'll look into it, but I'm not quite sure about this, so I won't comment on it.
All right. Thank you for the nice session. Yeah, so people, you were giving us feedback. So why don't anyone come online and tell us what they learned from the session just in 30 seconds or 1 minute so that we can get a sense of how we performed today. 5 years.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, no one would like to come online just for 30 seconds.
I think people are generally shy about this. We have tried this before as well. So I think we'll let it go. I think the reviews are here. I think it's good enough. Thank you, everyone, for joining in.
Acha, if anyone wants to say it again, yeah, Sushil sir wants to come online. Sir, that's not the case. All right. So let me unmute him. There are two people with the name of Sushil. Yeah, you are unmuted, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, loud and clear.
Yeah, okay. It's as though somebody in Lawseco read my mind. I wanted a session on this topic because I was actually planning to do something like this here on the local level myself. But thank you, and very comprehensively covered everything.
Thank you, Sushil sir. Thank you.
Nice time-bound manner also. Very good, fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So actually, that somebody is Chetan Priyadarshi sir only. He was the one to suggest me to take a webinar on.
What we do is
Even you handle it well, Anubha. You also handle it very well.
Thank you so much.
we were getting a lot of queries regarding what will be their future for home buyers. So I thought this session would be good enough, and then we'll share this video with our clients as well, so they can see.
All right. All right. So with this, let us call it a day. Thank you so much, everyone who connected. There is one more question by Legal Bulletin. The moment I try to end the session, there comes a question. So what if the builder in Gurgaon offer registration before possession, even before starting of the project? All right.
Legal bulletin. I have not heard of anything more illegal than this.
Yeah.
Just say no.
All right. All right, people. Now whatever the unanswered queries, you can reach out to Chetan
Yeah, I'll write out
on
my
his email
email
ID.
again, you can-
Please write your email ID one more time. Yes, the session will be uploaded on YouTube. The channel name is Lawseco. You guys can rewatch it there. All right. So this is Chetan sir's email ID. You guys can get in touch with him there. Thank you so much, Chetan sir, and thank you so much who connected with us here today. It was really enriching experience for me. I personally learned a lot and was totally fun. So thank you so much. Let us have a good day. Break a leg, people. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.